Have you ever felt like there were two seemingly perfect answers to the same question? Many people find themselves chasing after that one real solution. Before an activity like debate, one right answer is often impossible to find. This is what makes judging a debate an especially important task. For many new judges, it can be intimidating to come to a decision, especially when both teams present strong arguments for polarizing topics. However, there are certain key strategies for judges to keep in mind when evaluating a debate, which you can use to be a fair and impartial judge to debaters. Welcome to our video on how to judge. Fremont Debate Academy teaches a form of debate known as MSPDP, which is another term for middle school debate. In this format, there are 6 speeches total, which you can see on the screen. The order of the speeches goes Prop 1, Op 1, Prop 2, Op 2, Op 3, and Prop 3. Each one of these 6 speeches is 5 minutes long, which means that the entirety of the debate will take place within 30 minutes. In MSPDP, the proposition argues for the topic and the opposition argues against. For example, with a debate topic like school uniforms do more harm than good, the proposition argues that uniforms cause harm, while the opposition argues that the uniforms cause more good. In a hectic debate with persuasive speakers and a large amount of content, it is essential for a judge to have efficient flowing or note-taking habits. A debater's job is to say many words to express a few key ideas. It's a judge's job to identify those key ideas and weigh which ones remain on the table at the end of the debate. By flowing the debate or writing down the key points and any new information as it is presented, judges can keep track of core arguments that ultimately make it easier to decide which team deserves the ballot. For example, an ideal flow looks something like this. Each contention is quickly summarized and then directly connected to the corresponding refute or counter-refute. This makes it really easy to see big picture patterns and see how the debate shifts over time. However, don't feel guilty or bad if your flow doesn't look anything like this. Typically, debates can get messy and everyone has their own way of taking notes. But as you can see here, even with handwritten flows, it's important to keep notes condensed and organized as always. Remember, at the end of the day, the flow is here to help you make a final decision, so it's important that you understand it. Just like a judge in a courtroom, every debate judge must be very conscious of personal beliefs influencing final decisions. As is the nature of debate, there are many recent and important current event topics that are highly sensitive in nature. Despite one's political views, it is important to keep in mind that often debaters do not get to choose which side that they are debating, but they are doing so to enrich their personal educational experience. The most important thing for a judge to do is to take the arguments introduced by debaters and decide based on information given to them. A common dilemma judges face is interjecting existing knowledge that they have and unintentionally letting that knowledge leak into decisions. This can make the debate unfair, therefore resulting in a team that may not have deserved it receiving the victory. For example, in a topic relating to cybersecurity, judges with a background in technology are more likely to have a career-based information set, as opposed to middle school debaters. Some judges make the mistake of introducing arguments of their own that weren't brought up during the round, but this puts both teams at a disadvantage. So, if you're knowledgeable about any topic, refrain from using your understanding to fill in any gaps that debaters might have left behind, in order to allow for that impartial result that we all want. After the round, feel free to impart any info that you would like. Just make sure not to include it in the final decision. The main function of a judge is essentially to pay attention to the round and make a choice. In the ideal debate, a judge simply records the main points of a discussion and makes a decision based on what the speakers introduced. When flowing, everyone misses a thing or two, so it's perfectly fine. Just make sure to remember to note the essential points of the debate so that you don't lose the flow. It is the role of the debater to convince you with clear arguments and analysis, not the judge to make the arguments for them. Now, for some general judging tips. Remember, the key to a clear debate is making debaters aware of your preferences. If speakers understand what you want to see in terms of their speaking speed, coherence, or even type of argument, they will be more able to craft a better debate round catered towards your needs. When flowing, don't feel the pressure to write down full sentences or word-by-word arguments. It can be really helpful to jot down some key phrases and main ideas in bullet points just to make sure the flow is clear and understandable after the debate is over. Most of all, don't stress about the round. After all, like how in a store, the customer is always right. In a debate, the judge's word is the final call. If you are struggling to keep track of the main roles of a judge, just keep in mind the 3 pillars of judging, aka CNE. Clarify. Clarify to the debaters what your expectations for them are. Notate. Notate convincing arguments in the round and keep track of the big picture. Evaluate. Evaluate what has been presented, the quality of the speeches, and choose a side that convinces you. Remember to note down important parts of the debate that you can include in feedback for both teams afterwards. Choosing the final ballot is the hardest part of a judge's job. Oftentimes, judges find themselves in a debate where both teams were amazing, convincing speakers that did an excellent job during the round. After all, debate is a subjective art. It is not the judge's burden to connect the dots for the debaters. The best way to identify a clear winner is to review your notes from the debate one more time and gain a bird's eye view. Then, ask yourself, what was the most convincing argument to me personally? This essential question will help set that clear boundary, making the ballot easier to determine. By really engaging with the debate, judges can give each debater useful feedback on their personal speech, whether it's about their content or speaking style, that can help them in future rounds, improving their overall debate experience. This is what makes speaker points essential to a debate round. Speaker points are essentially a way to rank a speaker on a scale of 65 to 85, and is very important to determining between teams with the same amount of wins. For example, if people have to decide between 2 teams with the same amount of wins, the team with the highest speaker points will be chosen. Generally, no individual speaker receives lower than a 65, while an 82 is very rare and reserved for especially impressive speakers. Make sure to decide where all of your 6 speakers from that individual debate round fall on the spectrum based off of content, speech time, and their speaking style. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you have any questions, please reach out. We love hearing from our audience. And once again, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We truly appreciate your support.